Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back to the Glassman's world. So, I'm going to try to talk quietly. My wife and kids are sleeping right now, and but we're going to get started here. And I just wanted to kind of talk about New Mexico State Fair, all the things we did, all the money we spent. Oh my gosh, it cost me so much this year. And all of the prizes, well, not prizes, but the ribbons that we won at the Creative Arts Building. We had a lot of fun. It was a pretty crazy week for us, and but it turned out to be good, and we were all able to make it to the state fair. So I don't know if any of you guys got to go, if you guys ever went to the state fair or not. So we heard that it was the last state fair. Apparently, they're going to be selling the Expo New Mexico.
Phones that give us real stories.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what's going to be turning on right here. Let me get to my video here. So we heard that Expo New Mexico was sold by the governor. Was sold. Hold on a sec. Okay, so the governor basically sold the Expo New Mexico, and it's been under some bids, I guess, since January of this year, through, I don't know if it was like through either March, maybe May, that they were allowing for different individuals, different redevelopers to come in and put their bids down on the Expo New Mexico. We've been hearing different things. It's all rumor and hearsay, and just nothing is confirmed. It's just what we've been hearing, locally and through different individuals and stuff like that. So we're trying to figure out what is happening, what is going on. Are they really going to remove Expo New Mexico, or what? What's going to happen with it? If they do, what they're saying is they're going to turn it into a redevelopment area, which we don't really know what that means. They say they're going to turn it into a walkable kind of housing situation, which if you're from here, from this area, which is known as the war zone, if you're from this area, then you know that this area alone is already pretty bad, to walk around. Hey, what's going on? It's good to see you too, brother. Yeah, and definitely we'll be talking about Balloon Fiesta here too. I'm going to be working on some hot air balloons, and be crewing once again with Polar Dawn, with Rick Jones and the whole crew. So we'll be out there once again. And yeah, you're welcome to come out. Anyone is welcome to come out and find us during Dawn Patrol. But yeah, so Expo New Mexico, apparently they're selling it and they're getting rid of it. And we thought this was going to be the last state fair at Expo New Mexico. It's all been rumors. We don't really know what's going on. We don't know when they're going to shut it down. We haven't heard of any other. Oh, you got your press credentials? Oh my gosh. No way. Every morning you get to sign up for a ride. Dude, Come on. That's that's beautiful. I don't know how you pulled that one off, but congratulations. So yeah, they say they're gonna shut it down and they're gonna move it somewhere, but no one has heard where are they gonna move it to. There's rumors that it might go out to the west side and out there by the event center. And so if it goes out that way, then that's a long drive for us. Right now we're just like we can walk to the state fair, literally. Most people have to drive. A lot of people come in from not out of state, but from out of county. They come from a lot of different places. Sorry if the camera or the phone is picking up this hiss here. It's probably really loud. I need to figure out how to hook up a microphone to this, so that way I just have that hooked up. I have this headset right here. I don't know if I can plug it in or not. Let me try. All right. Hopefully I don't mess everything up, and then we end up losing the whole stream. All right. So this one's got a microphone. So let me know when I plug this in. Okay, you can't hear anything. Well, that idea didn't work. So the Zobra guy, the guy who covers the Zobra, or the guy who flies the Zobra balloon, was it Bryce? Or was it just someone covering the balloon? Can you hear me now? Hopefully I didn't mess it all up. Can you hear me now? All right, so I thought I was going to blow glass today. Apparently not. I just realized my oxygen is completely gone. Holy shit. So, all right, well, whatever. So Expo New Mexico might be going out to the west side, might be going out to the event center. If it does go out that way, that's going to be kind of far, but then it might be a good new beginnings, like I'm all into, if there's something new and it might be better for everyone, then why not? So be it. Let's make it happen. But it's the whole change, it's the whole knowing that Expo New Mexico was built for the state fair. It was built for all the animals, for the 4-H club, and all the kids that do all the livestock. They have the areas for everything. They have a place for the horses, for the cows, all the different stables. They even house they have stables year round, so wherever they move the Expo New Mexico, like, are they going to also be moving the horses and all the animals that they house there throughout the year? The people are out there all the time walking them, running them, and then we have the horse tracks there. Will that all stay as they like turn the buildings into like affordable housing? Which, I've looked into what affordable housing is, and they've said that, affordable housing is, it's basically like, uh, 1/3 of your income, right? But then when you go to like rent a place, it's not like their place, they're going to just rent it to you at 1/3 of your income. They already have the rent set. So then you have to make, you got to make more. You got to, you got to be able to show that your income can cover that rent. So it's weird how they call it affordable housing and it's only 1/3 of your income, but then it's like the rent is locked in and it's not 1/3 of your income. It's that you have to make that much more in order to meet the requirement that your income then covers the rent, which will be 1/3. So that's pretty crazy. So they're gonna turn it into affordable housing. I don't know if that means all the little like side buildings are gonna turn into apartments, turn into I don't know if they're gonna like turn them into like miniature condos, turn them into flats where like one person could rent the whole place. You know, they might turn them into work/living places. They might demolish all of it. It might be a big old demolition. They might flatten everything and then just start rebuilding from the ground up, and then just put a whole bunch of apartments. And that's what it seems like they've been doing, is just putting high-rise apartments in. We're seeing them all up and down Central right now. They're putting in all these buildings and apartments for people to live in. They're going to convert the Central and San Mateo old bank building into what is called the Serenade on Central, I believe is what they're calling it now. Serenade. The Serenade on Central. And so they're trying to make it sound good. You get sung to sleep by all the homeless people out there on Central. So that whole corridor, like I've been saying for years now, since Walmart shut down. They had Walmart shut down, the Dollar Tree shut down, Fala's was across from there, also shut down. That whole area, like San Mateo through from Kirtland Air Force Base, I was saying, like, for years now, ever since Walmart shut down, I was like, okay, if this shut down, these other ones shut down, they've been forcing like buildings on San Mateo to shut down. Then they started to talk about the Gateway Center, and they started talking about building the hub that helps out with individuals who are on the streets. They need help and stuff. So they built that place off of like San Mateo and like Catherine, and so I've been saying this for years, that they were going to revitalize San Mateo. It was going to be some sort of like a corridor that was going to expand from Kirtland Air Force Base all the way up to Central, and then up and down Central. And because they've been allowing the crime to get out of hand and allowing for businesses to just shut down on their own, which is pretty crazy. And this has been going on for years now. And I've just been predicting that, yeah, they're going to force all these businesses out. So then the city is allowed to buy up the property, because they're dilapidated. abandoned or whatever, which really was the plan for the city to do. So it's kind of interesting how everything that I've been saying is like coming together. They just put funding now for San Mateo from Central to Lomas. And now if you know where the state fair is, the state fair goes from Central between San Pedro and Louisiana, and it goes all the way up to Lomas. So what they're planning to do is they're going to revitalize that whole area, Central, Lomas, probably to Louisiana, make sure that they build up the whole Expo New Mexico. They're turning that into like a walkabout where you can walk around. They'll probably put like a pond in the center, some kind of like water feature, a lot of growing areas and greenery. You have to remember that we're living in a day now where they've moved us into what, they've used this fear tactic on climate change and, global warming and all these things, and that we need this new green energy. And we're learning that this green energy, like lithium ion batteries, are extremely toxic and hazardous and dangerous and not green for the environment at all. Probably even worse than big oil. We got big oil coming into New Mexico now, paying for all of the child care, I believe. We get free child care throughout all of New Mexico thanks to the oil companies and fracking, which, as a water protector, it's something that we really watch closely. And we know that if they continue to frack, they can break into our groundwater, our aquifer, and it will contaminate and damage our groundwater for years to come. And they don't care because they already have a plan. Nestle's been pulling water out for how many decades now, and they've been bottling it, they've been storing it underground in their underground facilities like the Kraft facility up there in Ohio. Springfield, the underground facility that's built by Kraft. Everyone wonders where Simpsons is located. Springfield. Well, there's a Springfield underground facility in Ohio, built by Kraft, and they got these huge underground tunneling systems that they stored things in there, and maybe people and stuff, and aliens and UFOs and all kinds of weird things. And it's all just allegedly, but this place does exist and it's real. And so water is stored underground. They also know that, for however many millions, billions, trillions of years that this planet's been around, the water, the same amount of water has still been here. It doesn't evaporate out of our atmosphere. It stays right here on the planet. So we don't run out of water, guys. The drought, global warming, climate change, that's all a marketing ploy, a fear tactic to get everyone to be scared that we're going to run out of this, run out of that. If you know about marketing 101, then you know about scarcity tactics. Like De Beers and how the diamonds, they got so many diamonds, but they want to make you think that there's a limited supply of diamonds. So it boosts the price, it boosts the cost per diamond, per carat. And so that's what they're doing. They're making us think that there's less water or less drinkable water, when in all reality, like they say, we got 70% of the earth is water, right? But only 3% of that is clean, fresh water, and only 1% is drinking water or able to be used for human consumption. But they don't say how the 70% of ocean water that's out there can all be desalinated and turned into clean drinking water. So they get everyone to be scared. Oh my gosh, we only got a limited supply of 3%, but only really 1%. It's pretty weird. So these scared tactics, California, 90% of the rainwater just go back to the ocean so they could protect fish. We had something going on with the silvery minnow here where we needed to allow water to run. But then, they allowed the Rio Grande or river here that runs through New Mexico to practically dry up entirely. It dried up in Albuquerque here. So you got to remember, we're going through the Great Reset, and all of this redevelopment is going to be coming in. It's going to make a lot of money for the developers and the hands that be. Those who have their hands in a cookie jar will be making some good money. If you're into stocks, you can make good money with them too. I don't own any stocks at all, but I just know if you want to make money, there's ways to do so with all of this new redevelopment. So if you invested into the Expo New Mexico redevelopment, you'll make money. Whether or not you want it to happen, that's a whole different issue. That's a whole different topic. And where they're going to move the Fiesta to, we don't know. So it's all just hearsay and stuff. But Expo New Mexico, the Mexico State Fair 2025, it was a lot of fun. There was 4 days that I went. I went on the first day, took my daughter there, went to go ride rides. I'm not going to highly recommend this because I don't want... Oh yeah, I've looked into the booth at the Balloon Fiesta. It's like, the prices have been going up. When I first started looking, they were like $3,000 to $5,000. Then they went up to like $8,000. Now I think they're like $10,000 to $12,000 per booth. And you have to pay for that a year in advance. So I'd have to pay for it next year. I'd pay for it now. So I'd have to, then work on just glass balloons for the rest of my whole year. I'd have to figure out how to pay for rent for a year in advance too, and how to live my life without it's pretty much practically impossible. So what I do is I just make as many balloons as I possibly can. I sell them directly from me, which means that I believe so, $10K for the smallest booth. I'm not 100. I think it's for the square. You get a square, but then the two, there's some booths that are double, like the hamburger booth on the corner there. They got the breakfast burritos and the burgers, and I think they sell pizza. They got a double booth. They got two squares. And then there's some that are like only like quarter squares or half squares, things like that. So I don't know. Oh yeah, I would have to make, if I made 10,000 balloons, I would sell them all at $20 each. So yeah. Oh, well, if you're going to do something like that, we should really talk. Because I've got big ideas, and I've got friends who can do things like printing and make some cool stuff. And we can do that. Yeah. If you want to invest in a booth, you will make your money back. I would just have to figure out how I'm going to make all these balloons throughout the year, while I'm also making rent on the side too. It's going to be a huge hustle. It might take 2 years, it might take a little bit to get to that point, but let's make things happen. That would be awesome, man. And you can get a hold of other things, like the solar lights, getting there's so many things that are balloon items. There's ornaments, little hangy thingies, wood carved stuff, laser engraved, laser carved stuff. Our friends that are doing the Sunday Nob Hill East Market, which I may be at tomorrow. I might stay home and work on the van. I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but I think he's got a new laser engraver, and we can make balloon items. I have a friend who has magnets, these really cool magnets that are like this big, and she sells them for $5 each. So if you want to get any picture of yourself, your dog, your family, the sky, a rainbow, whatever you want to get a picture of. I got this made into a magnet. I don't have it here. It's outside. But yeah, it would, dude, the balloons alone, if we had our own glass balloons booth, like dude, if you have that kind of a situation, we might be able to like make something happen. I've talked to Discover Balloons, and you know th- I don't know how many balloons it would take, and then I have to like deal with all the corporate stuff and all this and that. But if you're running everything, then it would be a lot smoother, a lot easier. Yeah, and it would be cool to. So I've thought about that too. Oh my gosh. So we're moving on to Balloon Fiesta. All right, so we'll get back to the state fair in a little bit here. But Balloon Fiesta, guys, is coming up October 4th. It's every year here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It is the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. It is the world's largest balloon fiesta. Although I do believe France is coming up very closely to try to beat us in like attendance and beat us in amount of balloons that are flying. So yeah, we got some competition out there. But Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta is known. It's been going on since 1972 for 55 years now. Will this be the 55th anniversary? This one was last year, and this was more than 52 years. And I don't know if they're not counting the COVID year where we didn't do a fiesta. We did a siesta. Where basically like they still did a balloon fiesta live, but they called it the balloon siesta, like they were taking a nap, having a rest. And they were still flying balloons like throughout different places, but it wasn't big. It was weird. And that was in 2020, I believe, 2021. So Balloon Fiesta has been around for 53 years now. This will be the 53rd year, I'm guessing, but I think it would be the 54th year. I don't know. 53rd. It was started in 72. So it's grown. There's at least 500 balloons that launch from the field every morning. I'm a part of Dawn Patrol. I crew with this team here. This will be my 10th year. And we basically go up before all the rest of the balloons. So we are the test pilots. We get to test out the air basically, and the wind direction, the wind speeds, and that way all the rest of the balloons can see where we're going. And then when you're at different levels, so ground level, there could be winds blowing from the north and coming down south with this cold winds that are basically following the Rio Grande Valley. And these cold winds will come down from, Colorado and push into New Mexico, and they follow the river because the cold will always settle. Hot air rises, cold settles. So this cold flow of air may flow through right by the river, and we're right by the river at the Balloon Fiesta. So a lot of that air on the sides will also come down, maybe not as fast as what's flowing down the Rio Grande Valley, right? And then when you raise up, so here, check it out. So you got a balloon, right? And you raise up, you start coming up like this, right? And then you start reaching like maybe 1,000 feet. It'll start to slow down and you won't get pushed as much. And then you get up a little bit higher, maybe get into like 5,000 feet, 3,000, you'll start getting pushed back. And that's what's known as the Albuquerque box. And you get pushed back, right? And then you come down and you start to come back and you start to get pushed back this way. And then the lower you go, the faster you go. So if you want to go a little more gentler, you go up a little bit higher and you can get pushed. Or if you want to get into that spot where maybe you get pushed this way, you can drop down and you can like kind of just hover there and then maybe the direction will push you more to this way. So then you hover right there, you lift up and you come back this way, but maybe you're getting pushed this way and you come back down, and maybe you'll start getting pushed back this way and this way. So there could be circular motions like this, while there's also the motion like this. So there's all these balloons that fly up, and they get to see what we do, and it's really amazing. Every morning to be able to get to fly, it's really fun. And then to be able to like replicate balloons. This one is missing its gondola, so you could just pretend the gondola isn't a part of it, and it doesn't have a loop. I need to fix that one. That's one of the original balloons I used to make. As you can see, the size difference. These are a little bit bigger nowadays. So this year will be October 4th, opening day. Sometimes we'll open up the balloon on the Thursday or Friday beforehand to make sure that, just to open up the balloons so it can air out. He only flies Polar Dawn. No, that's not true. He flies this in other places. He takes it elsewhere. I was going to say he only flies it for Dawn Patrol, but that's not true. He flies it elsewhere. He flies around the world off-season. When he's not here for Balloon Fiesta, he comes in from Concord, New Hampshire, but he travels the world throughout the year. So he might be home in Concord, New Hampshire, a few weeks, a few months throughout the year, but he's flying elsewhere. So when he comes for the week, we get to hang out with him. He's a real cool guy. He is very educational and instructional. He's all about safety. He teaches us how to keep safe and have fun. So and that way we can do this for years and years to come. He used to be the president, I believe, of the Balloon Fiesta Association. And so a lot of people know him, which is awesome, because then he invites me around to all his different friends, and we get to go meet all kinds of different crew members and everyone from all over the world. And then they ask me to make their different balloons and replicate their balloons from the balloon cards. Millions of people will be out there throughout the whole week. We'll have events in the mornings, and then in the evening there's music throughout the day. We are found, our balloon specifically is found usually in the middle row, or M row. Middle, M, morning for M. The main stage is on M row. So the main stage is on M row. The morning show, M row. We're Dawn Patrol. And then usually we're about M4. Now that can change, and we might be in like somewhere completely different this year. So we will find out. But let me read the rest of these comments here. You covered Zozobra this year under the press credentials. Oh, I haven't even watched yours. That's how I found you, dude. Was through last year's Zozobra. And I was like, this guy's got the best coverage. It's so much better than like KOAT or KOAB. Like you had the best footage because we could hear all the music and everything. I don't know how you get away with that without getting copyright. I get striked. Dude, I had a copyright on my own self performing on my guitar with my own vocals, with my voice and my guitar, and I got a copyright. I don't know if it was because I was covering a song, but the songs that I cover, I make them my own. So I got a copyright strike on my own music, my own voice, my own guitar. So I don't know how you get away with that, but that's why I started following you, because this is Zozobra. And then I invited you out for Balloon Fiesta, and bam, now here we are, right? So you don't think Los Lunas would be good? I would think Los Lunas would be good only because that's where all the animals are already, and that's where all the barns and everything. And so 4-H Club, they would benefit from that. But then we have Los Ranchos de Albuquerque, and we have Corrales as well. And so we have a lot of ranchers and farmers here as well. So then that would hurt. Right now, they are really close to Balloon Fiesta. Oh, but that's not close to the the fairgrounds. That's different. Um, I think they're just concerned about safety around the expo. Inside was safe. Yeah, and yeah, I think that there's going to be some sort of way where Expo New Mexico maybe will become a gated community. And I also believe it's going to become a carless city, or like a little mini community, a carless community, like what they built in Tucson. I believe it's in Tucson, Arizona. Maybe Sedona, but I think it's Tucson. And they have the very first carless city. So if they have a driveway, the driveway is set up as like their front yard patio. You ride bikes, you ride the e-scooters, e-bikes, you ride regular bikes, skateboards, regular scooters. You can walk. And then it's just right outside from the public transportation, which Expo New Mexico is just right there, right outside of um, the free transit rides that we have at Rapid Ride with the 777 and the 766 bus route. So then you can catch a bus right there on Central and get anywhere you need to. So Central is going to become the Central Corridor, also known as Route 66 for those of you who travel around the nation. And it's going to become that, to where you can walk from Expo New Mexico to the free transit. We are the first city to have free transit, and we will have a walking city just like Tucson, where it'll be carless. You won't be able to take a car in. Maybe they'll have roads so you can get picked up by Uber, but you won't be able to park on the road. You can't, like, maybe you can pull up to, like, if you have a friend come and pick you up and then you guys leave. Maybe there's like a 5 minute, I don't know how that works. Or if you have to like meet them outside at a designated pickup area. So that's going to be interesting. State Fair was fun. Went there for several days, and it was cool, and it was safe inside. There was one day when I did capture like 20 different state troopers running in one direction in the midway. So I followed to see what was up, and I just took photos. I could have videoed it, but there wasn't anything really going on. As I was following them, like towards the turkey leg stand right there in the middle, there was one guy that was being walked back the opposite direction where we were just from, and they were like running towards that way. They were walking some kid. It was a teenager, maybe young, 21, 23-year-old, but he was a young kid. I think he was wearing like a sports jersey and shorts, and looked like the normal Hispanic kids that we have here. Short buzz cut. Looked like he maybe played basketball on his off time when he's not getting in trouble. But yeah, there was nothing really to see except these guys running towards an area. So yeah, it was fairly safe there. My son did trip over a sandbag though on his way out at the exit. It was up along the fence, but you know how kids like to walk up along the fences and drag their hands and stuff. He was actually going to show me one of his little cool, colorful, spinny things that he got. So he wasn't paying attention to what was on the floor, and I was looking at the lights and getting all blinded. And then he tripped on this sandbag, and that sucked. It was like on the way out. We're leaving, had a great day, and then he hurts himself. So it was safe, sorta. I went there on the first day, rode rides with my daughter. That was a lot of fun. We had a good time. Went and checked out the ribbons, which we won a bunch of ribbons. Our family entered into the creative arts building. I got second place for the mascots, Phil and Phyllis, which they're in here in this nice tightly enclosed case. And I wrote farewell Expo New Mexico because I figured this was the last year, right? And then there they are. So as you can see, they're about 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches tall. I think they came out pretty well. This was the hot glass category, but they slumped me in with the slumped glass and fused glass category. So I didn't win first place or best of show in my category. I won second place. I don't know. I feel like I got ripped off, but at the same time, I'm just going to go with it. Whatever. If that's how they want to do it, then next year, my plan is to make blown glass mixed with slumped glass, fused glass, and stained glass. They won't be able to deny me at that point. Then it's like, how can you deny me the best of show? Unless there's someone else out there that can do it all like I can. I know how to do stained glass. I know how to slump glass, fusing glass. Let's do it. So that was a fun day. We went and checked out the Tolteec pole dancers at the Indian village. Got an Indian taco, really delicious. Checked out some exhibits and rode some rides. My daughter rode rides with me for the first time, which was really awesome. And we did the roller coaster first, and then we did a whole bunch of other rides. She's been so scared to ride the rides that she's basically stayed in the kiddie zone for like up until now. So it's really cool. I now have someone I can ride rides with, so that was a lot of fun. So her and I went alone so we could ride rides and not have to worry about our son like just being stuck in the kiddie zone while we're over there doing things, and then my wife and I being separated during the day. So that worked out really well. I went back again on Sunday to go see Ryan McGarvey perform and Defy. And that was really cool to see them at Tingley Coliseum on the big stage. That was so awesome to see. I got the whole entire, both of their shows recorded on my phone. So I have both sets. I was asked not to share out Ryan McGarvey's set because a lot of the music isn't finalized and hasn't been released yet. They gave us a lot of new music off of their next album that'll be coming out soon. They're still in the recording sessions right now. So maybe when the recording comes out, then I can release that. Defy, I'm just going to give him the footage, and then he can put it up and share it out. That was a fun day. I went by myself. I went alone. It was kind of weird to go alone because I was planning to go with the family. But we have some family issues going on, and still working through those kind of things and stuff. But that was a lot of fun, and it was cool to go alone and just do my own thing. I recorded a lot of that. I think I got a copyright strike on one of those videos. Went back a third time with my daughter. I didn't think that my wife and son was going to be able to make it with me to the state fair, so I decided, well, I'll take my daughter one more time. We'll check it out. We'll just basically go to the exhibits. She really just wanted to go to like the petting zoo, check out the exhibits, go find some kind of a souvenir, something like that. Maybe get some food and just walk around and just enjoy the fair. So we did that. That was a lot of fun. Got to see more of the dancers, the Indian dancers at the Indian village, and got some good food. And yeah, that was a good day. Then my wife and son decided they wanted to go. Finally, we tried to go on Saturday, which I think it got rained out, and we decided not to go that day. Then Sunday was the last day, and we decided to go, and it was a perfect day. We went for several hours from the evening time, about 4 or 5 o'clock got there, and stayed throughout the whole evening. Checked out the Aztec dancers. We got to see the Apache crown dancers, and we got to get their blessings and prayers. Which, man, that's such a powerful sacred dance there, and powerful ceremony to be a part of, with Joe Tahani Jr. and the Crown Apache dancers, or the Apache Crown dancers, sorry. And then Tolteec pole dancers after that as well. Then we went and rode rides with our son all night when the midway was lit up with lights. That was a lot of fun. He just got to ride unlimited rides. I got another ride pass with him so I could ride with him, and we had a lot of fun. And my wife, she can't ride rides really because it messes with her equilibrium and motion sickness. So she really just had a lot of fun watching him have fun. So, and then she got to get all of her deep fried Oreos and all the good foods, the bucket of fries and everything else that we got that day. So we had a really good time as a family then. My daughter didn't come with us that day. I figured, well, she's gone twice and she was with her mom that week. So I figured I'd just take our son and then we could ride rides together the way I did with her. So I went 4 days. And it was a lot of money. I think I spent $60 on parking. But somehow, that last day, while we were getting the wristbands, we were actually going into the line to pay for $40 wristbands a piece. I was going to pay $80, guys, for me and my son to go ride rides on that last day at the state fair. And as we're walking through, one lady, she's like, "Hey, I have this wristband. We're leaving right now, and I'll let you have it for $20. And I was like, really? Like, all right, I'll take it. I looked at the date. It was that day. I was like, okay, it should work then. So we got a $20 wristband, right? And then I was like, oh no, is it going to fit on me? Because they had already like closed it up. And it barely got on my hand, like without ripping, barely. And as we're walking through the line, another person leans over the barricade fence there, and they're like, hey, here you go. And they just handed us a ride pass, and they're like, we're leaving, we have an extra one. And they gave us a ride pass, guys, just for free. We're like, what? So we got 2 ride passes, one for free, one for $20. Instead of paying $80, me and my son got to ride rides, and that was phenomenal. So we had more food for food and drinks and whatever, and we had a good time. That was a lot of fun. But parking was like $10 on the first day, then it went up to $20, and then it went up to $30. So I highly recommend you go out on that first day when everything is a lot cheaper. Food's the same price, but they might have some specials, and the ride passes were only $30 that day. So me and my daughter got to ride for $60 that day instead of $80. And then somehow my son and I, we just lucked out and got 2 passes for $20. So that was really cool. Now, as far as how much we paid for everything in total, I have no idea. I would say easily $100 per day. So 4 days that I was there, I think we spent a good $400, which is crazy. Now, Balloon Fiesta is coming up, and like we were talking about, NJ Quartz, he was talking about maybe getting a booth at the Balloon Fiesta. That would be crazy if we were able to get glass balloons out there. The thing is, see, I crew with this team, but if he had a booth, then I could still crew, and then after I'm done crewing, I could then go and set up for a couple hours in the morning and go do live glass blowing demos, and then maybe in the evenings too, which the evenings would probably be like even better, right? But if there's a way, we would have to get the fire marshal to permit that. I don't know if I would have the glass blowing demo outside of the booth, to where it would not be enclosed and there would be ventilation, and then also not underneath a booth. I don't know if those booths are fire retardant or not, but that would be amazing. We could bring in other glass blowers to make balloons. I don't know if there's any glass blowers who make them like I do and who replicate balloons from the cards like this. So, but that would be cool. There, I might be able to find a couple who would be willing to come in and just do demos, you know. I don't know if we'd have to pay them for their time, which, you know, may be proper, or if they just become partners in and get in there. But we definitely need to talk. I know, I don't think you're still watching. I think I've been rambling on for quite a long time. But I just wanted to kind of recap on everything that went on with the New Mexico State Fair. I'm looking forward to the balloon fiesta. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get those magnets that I have made and see what those look like. And then we may be able to get a whole bunch out. Those magnets, like if NJ Quartz is serious and he really wants to invest in a booth, then, you know, we might be able to do that. And if he's able to afford that and get the booth this year for next year, then I would be willing to make it happen and just get as many balloons as I possibly can made. You know, I could probably guarantee 10,000 balloons. You know, I made 100 balloons in like, it took 25 hours, you know, so if I put 5 hours per day, I could get 100 balloons done in a week. But then it's hard with the family and things that are going on in my life, so that might not always happen. So we might not be able to make 400 balloons in a month. It might only be 200 balloons in a month. 24 months. So I don't know. That would be, I don't know, that'd be quite a bit of balloons, 4,800 balloons. But to try to get that 10,000 balloons, that's where we would really make some good money. We would really make some good money, you know. And we'd just have to figure out making sure that NJ, if he invested in this, that he gets paid his initial capital investment back, and then also, you know, of course, get profit on top of that. Maybe we split profits after that. I don't know. We'll have to talk. But that's such a great idea. With that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go. I was really hoping to get on the torch today and blow glass, but it looks like I'm gonna have to try to figure out how I can get my oxygen refilled, which I can't get done until Monday. However, there is a machine that allows you to refill your oxygen canisters at home, those who have like medical grade oxygen. And this machine can push the oxygen into an industrial tank. So I can possibly invest in this and never have to go get oxygen ever again. I think it's $600. If I can figure out how to make $600, if I can maybe put up my PayPal or my Square account. I don't know if there's a way that I can set up something that people can send donations or put in a fundraiser or something through Square. But I know PayPal, you could just send money, and that would be amazing if I can like raise. It was used for $600 brand new. I think they're 12 or 1300, but a used one for like $649, I think is what it was, like almost $700. If I can get that, I won't have to ever worry about oxygen again. So I'm sorry I can't do any demos today. I was hoping to make some balloons. I was actually getting these colors together so I could make this balloon here again, and we could replicate some of ours of Polar Dawn. I was going to just make a few Polar Dawn balloons this morning, but we'll have to do that on either Monday or Tuesday coming up. I guess I have the weekend off. which sucks because I really needed to make more balloons for tomorrow. I'm completely sold out. If I set up tomorrow, I won't have balloons. I don't know if I'm going to set up tomorrow or not at the Nob Hill, at the Sunday Nob Hill East Market. I might, but I might be working on the van. We really need to get the van running. If we can make that happen this weekend, that'd be great. Possibly today. I don't know if we can do that today or tomorrow. But we might be getting the van fixed, guys, which is really awesome. Then I won't have to walk to different bus stops or ride my bike or anything. But I don't mind riding my bike either. It's really, really cool. I see some people are coming in. I'm about to go. It's so weird how that works. I say I'm about to leave now, and then more and more people come in. How you guys doing? Good morning. I've been just recapping on our state fair. I won second place here at the state fair this year for this prize that's in here. Here, I should probably just take it out and leave it up. My state fair win right there. Boom. It says farewell, Expo, New Mexico. Here, maybe I could lay them down. You could see them better on camera. So yeah, that's my win there at the state fair, second place, guys. I probably should have won first place because I was the only entry in the hot glass category. So they slumped me into the fused and the kiln worked glass, which isn't what I do. I do lamp working or torch work. So I think I got kind of ripped off there from my first place. But I'm happy with second place because I won. I beat out several other slumped glass and kiln glass workers with my torch work. So that's pretty cool. My wife won Best of Show with her greeting cards. She makes cards, not this one here, but she makes cards, greeting cards, birthday cards, all kinds of cool cards. And she put some amazing, immaculate detail into them. So she won Best of Show. She got 4 first place winners and 1 second place winner. So congratulations to my wife. And our son, he entered in the Lego competition, guys. First time. It was 6 years old and up. He's only 6 years old. He won Best of Show, guys, for his category of 6 years old and 7-year-olds. I don't know if it was 8 and 9-year-olds too, but I believe it's just 6 and 7-year-olds. And he won Best of Show, guys. So congratulations to our son, our family, bunch of ribbon winners at the state fair. And we'll be entering again next year. And I guess we'll be seeing you at Expo, New Mexico again. From what it sounds like, they're not going to be moving it for the next 2 years. It's going to take some time. This is all hearsay, though. It's all alleged. And so nothing's confirmed. But that's what I'm hearing, is it's going to take about 2 years to get things done, guys. But with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to just... I'm going to see if I can go get the parts to the van, and then maybe we can work on it today, and then I can still go and set up tomorrow, and maybe I can set up with the van and not have to shift everything from the vehicle, from the van into the vehicle that I'm borrowing for right now. So a huge thank you to my friend and one of my clients who I've been working for the last year now, and generous enough to lend us her vehicle, which I'm so grateful for. Thank you so much. This has been a godsend, such a blessing, to be able to get our kids to school without having to catch the bus, and that takes so much more time and energy and effort, and it's just, it makes things a lot harder. So thank you so much. I appreciate you for helping our family out with that. And with that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a beautiful day. Love and blessings. I'm out.